streaming live, tackling the topics everyone's talking about online. Share, engage, interact. This is Newsfeed Now.
Good Monday to you. Welcome into Newsfeed Now. I am Aaron Nolan. You know, there are stories that kind of hit us harder than other ones. For me, this was yesterday afternoon's story of Kobe Bryant. He was on a helicopter with 9 people. He was one of 9. That helicopter went down, killing all on board. He's a legend. He's one of the greatest basketball players to ever play. He was in the second phase of his career, if you will, trying to do things. He had just won an Oscar for a film that he co-created, I believe it was last year. So Kobe Bryant had everything in front of him, but he, his daughter, and 7 other people died in a helicopter crash. Jay Gray has more on this accident.
Retired Los Angeles Lakers basketball star Kobe Bryant has been killed.
Kobe Bryant died earlier this afternoon.
The news, just like the player.
81-point game.
Unbelievable. Overwhelming.
All units responding to the brush fire at Las Virgenes and Willow.
Basketball legend Kobe Bryant, his 13-year-old daughter Gianna, and 7 others killed as his chopper slams into a hillside just west of Los Angeles. Among those on board, college baseball coach John Altobelli, his wife Carrie and their daughter Alyssa, 13-year-old Peyton Chester and her mom Sarah, and girls basketball coach Christina Mauser. The group reportedly traveling to a youth basketball tournament at Bryant's Mamba Sports Academy. Investigators now trying to piece together how and why it happened. Witnesses saying the chopper was flying through heavy fog.
We do know there was an issue of visibility and a low ceiling.
The international superstar seemed to have no ceiling. A 5-time champion, an all-star, 18 seasons, and 2-time Olympic gold medalist. Off the court a winner as well, creating a multimedia company, winning an Oscar for Best Animated Short Film in 2018.
I mean, as basketball players, we're really supposed to shut up and dribble, but I'm glad we do a little bit more than that.
Bryant, a husband, father of 4, remembered now for so much more.
Jay Gray, thank you. The Grammys were last night as well, and it was at the Staples Center, which is where the LA Lakers played their home game. So obviously it was something that had to be addressed. Here's more from the Grammys.
And now take with me the memories to be my sunshine after the rain. It's so hard to say goodbye to yesterday.
We love you, Kobe. Boys to Men. Thank y'all so much.
Boys to Men and Alicia Keys there at the Grammys. Look, everybody who had a hand in the NBA knew about Kobe Bryant, was touched by Kobe Bryant. It is a brotherhood. The players, they know each other. They work with each other. They play against each other. But at the end of the day, it's family. Here's more from a Chicago Bull. And this is Robbie Baker.
There are only 450 of the guys in the world, so the brotherhood is tight.
The NBA is a global brand comprised of the best basketball players in the world. And on Sunday, they lost one of their brothers.
Please join us in a moment of silence for Kobe Bryant. Rest in peace, Mamba.
And I saw it on Facebook, and I was like, this is BS, this can't be true. So first thing I do is I call out to LA, I call Scottie Pippen, and he answers the phone, and I don't even have time to ask him, Scottie, what's going on? He says, Jason, it's true.
Rarely in life does something or someone exceed expectations. Drafted out of Lower Marion High School in Pennsylvania, there were high expectations for Kobe Bryant, and he exceeded them all.
And to watch him come in and they say, this is the next Michael Jordan, everybody's like, yeah, sure. And then year after year, you see this young man go higher and higher and higher to another level. And at some point, now he's winning championships and he's putting up the same kind of numbers as Mike. So the comparison became real. So it was great to just see somebody who could come in and somewhat match the intensity that Michael Jordan could put out.
Bryant on the move with the jumper.
A lot of people thought Kobe Bryant wanted to be the next Michael Jordan. Kobe Bryant never wanted to be the next Michael Jordan. Kobe Bryant wanted to be the first Kobe Bryant.
He retired as one of the leading scorers in NBA history and cemented his place as a Lakers legend, winning 5 NBA championships. Fans will long debate what player is the best in NBA history, but between Michael and Kobe, there was certainly shared respect.
Michael always said if there's anybody who could beat me in basketball in one-on-one, it would be Kobe Bryant. And I was like, how's that so, Michael? He said, hell, because he copies all my moves.
Let's bring in now Robbie. Robbie, one thing that I have not been able to put my finger on is why this has been so emotional for so many people. I didn't know Kobe. I watched him a time or two live. I watched him on TV. But it was tough for me to swallow the news of his death. Why is that? Why did he touch so many people?
Well, I know one thing in talking with Jason Caffey was that, the NBA is a global brand, and Kobe is an athlete that transcended and certainly touched, lives all over the world, even if you were just somebody that watched him on television. Jason told me that, there was a Bulls fan club. Of course, Jason played for the Chicago Bulls in the late 90s. There was a Bulls fan club in Poland that he is connected with, and he said they reached out to him yesterday when the news broke that they were mourning the loss over in Poland when the Kobe Bryant news broke. So it was a global loss for basketball fans all over the world. And I also think just the suddenness of it, I think, the way the news broke, the way it happened, the plane crash, I think it was something that really caught everybody off guard and by surprise. And that also, I think, added to it as well.
There was also a mutual respect. Obviously, you talked to a guy who played for the Bulls. Friends here at Newsfeed now are not necessarily Lakers fans. They're fans of other teams, but they had a respect for the dominance that Kobe was able to do. But then you also have to couple into that, Robbie, the fact that he's a dad. He had 4 girls, one of which died with him.
Yeah, I think that is another, terrible turn in this when, the loss of his daughter in this. And I think that's something that helped Kobe transcend as well. And something that Jason also echoed to me was just the work ethic and that Mamba mentality. Of course, the Mamba was his nickname. And to come out of high school as Kobe Bryant was drafted and such high expectations, and rarely does something in life or someone who has such high expectations exceed those. And in most every way on the court, Kobe did that. And I think that the work ethic and, even post-basketball when Kobe started moving into doing stuff with media and film, and he won an Oscar after just a few years of being in media and as a producer. And you could see that work ethic was not just for basketball. He was a hard worker as a father. He was a hard worker in his endeavors in retirement. And I think that's what helped affect and touch so many lives as well.
All right. Thanks so much, Robbie. Appreciate you taking the time. Fans have gathered outside the crash site as well as the home of the Lakers, all to remember Bryant's legacy. Here's more.
LA Lakers fans gathering at the scene of the crash to remember Kobe Bryant and his 13-year-old daughter Gianna.
This guy was bigger than life. He helped a lot of children all over the world. What destroys me is that he had his first baby girl with him, and now she's gone. So sorry.
Hundreds more converging outside the Staples Center, Bryant's home court.
It's a community, and grown men are crying, and children are crying, and it's, we're all feeling the same emotions right now, I know.
For him to die, it's truly like a family member passing away.
NBA superstar Michael Jordan releasing a statement reading in part, "I am in shock over the tragic news of Kobe and Gianna's passing. Words can't describe the pain I'm feeling. I loved Kobe. He was like a little brother to me.
It's very difficult for me to put in words how I feel about the loss of Kobe Bryant."
Another Lakers legend, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, also reacting to Bryant's sudden passing.
He was an incredible athlete and a leader in a lot of ways. He inspired a whole generation of young athletes. Kobe, my thoughts are with you. Absolutely. Rest in peace, young man. This loss it's just hard to comprehend. Go with God.
But every sport is going to feel the effects of Kobe Bryant. I was watching golf yesterday, and Tiger Woods wasn't told until after he finished his round that his friend Kobe had passed away. His initial response from his caddy, excuse me? It was so much of a shock for so many people. That is no doubt going to continue as we head to the Super Bowl. Jack Doles joins us from the Super Bowl. Jack, we're going to talk about the game in just a moment. But first up, do you expect people to continue to talk about the death of Kobe Bryant? And how do you think some of these players on the field Sunday are going to honor the legacy that Kobe is leaving behind?
Well, I'll tell you what, Aaron, I just got to Radio Row now as we're getting ready to do our Big Game Bound show. And as I walked through it, the only conversation I heard, I didn't hear a single person talking about the Super Bowl. It was all about Kobe Bryant, his daughter, and the tragedy that took place yesterday. I found it fascinating to see all the different sports and the different athletes. Nick Kyrgios wearing the Kobe jersey as he walked out through the tunnel to get on for his match at the Australian Open. The 24-second violation that you saw in one of the games. It's amazing the impact that Kobe had on the generation of players and athletes that are out there now. And I'm sure you'll see something from some athlete here at the Super Bowl, because Kobe crossed all sports, not just basketball.
Well, and Jack, I think it was because of that mentality. I mean, it's called the Mamba mentality. He was the Black Mamba. That was his nickname. He had this focus, this unwavering competition. But what I like to see was the fact that off the court, he was able to turn it off and he was able to smile. I think those are things that athletes can learn and hopefully will continue to learn even as we start to continue to mourn his passing.
Yeah, and Aaron, he's a guy that went through an incredible, he had a little problem with his image after what happened in Denver way back when. But that's really not what you're going to hear a lot of now. You're going to hear about his will, the incredible will he had to win, the championships he won. He was just an absolute competitor, and he took that competition to that level that Jordan had. You don't see too many, or hear about too many athletes that were just so hyper competitive that they drove and made everybody around them better. And he was one of those guys. And yeah, you saw that smile afterward. I remember seeing him in Beijing after his team had played a game. He was constantly at events, Aaron. I saw him at the women's gold medal soccer game, sitting there just with family, just enjoying watching these other athletes compete at that same level he does on this world stage. And he took it in, and it just great enjoyment. He loved the sport. He loved the competition, whether he was in it or watching it. Is what I gathered from watching him just take great pleasure in seeing other people with USA on their chest compete and win.
Jack, before you go, let's quickly talk about your now going to be every day leading up to the Olympics. Big Game Bound is going to air right here on this website. Jack, what are you going to talk about today as media days starting this evening?
Well, we've got a couple of guests lined up. One of them is Eric Hipple, former Detroit Lion quarterback who's been through just an incredible struggle with mental health illness. His son committed suicide. He tried to commit suicide. He has been the guy that's really led the charge to try and work with NFL players through the NFL to help with their mental health after their playing days are done, because it's such a big transition in the world. But I'm sure I'm going to host this show with Jarrett Payton from WGN in Chicago. We may talk about Super Bowls he's been to. We'll also talk about Kobe Bryant, I'm sure. And we've got some other guests lined up. So we're going to get the ball rolling for the Super Bowl, but we'll certainly take some time to talk about the big story of the day, and that's Kobe Bryant.
Jack Doles, thanks so much, man. We'll see you tomorrow right here on Newsfeed Now, chatting about the Super Bowl. Wrapping up what we're talking about with Kobe Bryant, he will be remembered as one of the greats, one of the best ever. His legacy touched everybody, what Jack was just talking about. Here's Polo Sandoval with more.
He was born Kobe Bean Bryant, but to the world, the 41-year-old was a global basketball phenomenon. The son of a pro basketball player, the Philly native finished high school and was quickly drafted by the NBA.
Greatness lies ahead for this young man.
At the time, Bryant was the youngest player in the league's history at just over 17 years old.
I think a lot of people, even when I came out of high school, I think people were kind of giving me the cold shoulder to begin with, because I think, unfortunately, some people wanted me to fail because I defied the odds.
The MVP spent his entire pro career with the LA Lakers, winning 5 NBA championships with the team. During his 20 seasons, Bryant became one of the league's top scoring players, even surpassed Michael Jordan, becoming 4th on the NBA's all-time scoring list. On 2 occasions, he helped secure Team USA Olympic gold on the world stage. Bryant dealt with controversy, too. In 2003, he was charged with sexual assault, accused of raping a 19-year-old hotel employee. The charge was later dropped, and the case was settled in civil court. Bryant also overcame various sport-related injuries, always determined to heal and return to the court. Then in the fall of 2015, he announced his plan to retire from the NBA and played his final game in 2016. The following year, his jersey numbers 8 and 24 were retired. Since then, he has made his mark on Hollywood, winning an Academy Award for his animated film Dear Basketball, but his greatest accomplishment may have been off the hardwood. He was a husband and proud father of 4 children.
We all have moments like this in life where it just seems like that day is never going to end. You know, it just seems like the moment that you're in just feels like the darkest moment to you. You know, and at that point, you really kind of have to step outside of yourself and put it in perspective and understand that, you know, I've had many, many blessings, a lot of things to be thankful for.
At 6'6", Bryant was more than just a literal giant. LA Mayor Eric Garcetti wrote, "Bryant inspired, amazed, and thrilled people everywhere with his incomparable skill on the court, and awed us with his intellect and humility as a father, husband, creative genius, and ambassador for the game he loved." Polo Sandoval, CNN. New York.
All right, that's all the time we have for today's edition of Newsfeed Now. We'll see you right back here on Tuesday.